This presentation is called From Internal Conflict to Innovation, a closer look into the thriving political, social, and economic structures of relatively recent sovereign nations, which are Germany, Singapore, and South Korea. A study of 3 post-war countries shows that becoming a democratic state while adopting democratic social and economic policies helped transform these nations into thriving westernized powers in less than 100 years. This change in leadership and government control has allowed for innovation to blossom in formerly communist countries. According to the Bloomberg Innovation Index for 2020, 200 countries were assessed across the following 7 weighted metrics: research and development intensity, patent activity, tertiary efficiency, manufacturing value added, productivity, high-tech density, and researcher concentration. Ranked number 1 in Bloomberg's index, the estimated population of Germany is 82.78 million. The gross domestic product, or GDP in US dollars, is $3.677 trillion. The per capita GDP is $44,469.91. A brief history of Germany. In 1648, the Holy Roman Empire has come to an end while Germanic states begin to form during the Dark Ages. In 1871, General Otto von Bismarck unifies the Germanic states to form Germany, becoming the first chancellor. From 1914 to 1918, World War I takes place, followed by an economic depression. From 1933 to 1945, Hitler creates the Nazi Party, assumes power, and persecuted millions of Jewish people in what would become known as the Holocaust. This starts World War II. In 1950, East and West Germany, occupied by the Soviet Union and the US respectively, are physically divided by a wall as Cold War tensions escalate. In this time, West Germany is westernized, while the East becomes an oppressive communist state. On November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall is destroyed. On October 3, 1990, East and West Germany are reunified, and the entirety of Germany becomes a democratic, federal parliamentary republic. With the reunification of Germany, the following changes took place and allowed for the country to prosper. There was a shift from communism to democracy, disbursement of power amongst branches of government with a checks and balance system, a judicial system separate from the other branches of government, individual citizen and property rights, fair business regulations, infrastructural development, and improved public health. Currently, Germany is leading innovation in the automotive industry with the development of driverless cars, digitally networked mobility, and electric mobility. Also leading with mechanical engineering advancements in medical technology and optical devices. There's a high degree of buyer sophistication, meaning consumers are constantly looking for the newest piece of technology across every industry. The German government, as well as the private sector, have contributed significantly to research and development and patents. Ranked number 2 in Bloomberg's index for 2020, the estimated population of South Korea is 51.47 million. The GDP in US dollars is $1.531 trillion, and the per capita GDP is $31,480.84. A brief history of South Korea. In 1392, General Yi Seong-ji staged a coup against the sitting ruling family of the current kingdom to form Korea. In 1800, royal in-laws of the presiding family gained power and brought in an era of corruption that led to poverty and rebellion. From 1910 to 1945, Japan occupies Korea. In 1945, Japan relinquishes power of Korea to the Soviet Union and United States, splitting the country into 2 regions. On May 10, 1948, North and South Korea split into 2 different countries due to escalating tensions between the USSR and the United States respectively. From 1950 to 1953, the Korean War occurs. In 1953, South Korea, or the Republic of Korea, becomes a sovereign state and a centralized democratic republic. The key changes South Korea made following the sovereignty of the nation were switching from communism to democracy, ensured disbursement of power amongst branches of government, an efficient judicial system, individual citizen and property rights, multinational conglomerates, significant infrastructural development, and an emphasis placed on highly skilled education. Currently, South Korea's leading innovation in technology conglomerates are chaebols. The chaebols most prominent in the U.S. market are Samsung, LG, and Hyundai. Lack of natural resources has driven tech innovations as other markets are becoming obsolete in today's global market. The government has significantly invested in high-quality education and research and development, which rapidly urbanized the former agriculture-based economy. This also helped to shift the manufacturing model from intensive manual labor with low product cost to minimal technical labor with high product cost. Ranked number 3 in Bloomberg's index, the estimated population of Singapore is 5.85 million. The GDP in US dollars is $323.9 billion, and the per capita GDP is $57,714.30. A brief history of Singapore. In 1299, Sri Tri Buana established the Kingdom of Singapore. In 1819, Great Britain imperialized the former kingdom to create the colony of Singapore. In 1826, Singapore became part of the British East India Company as it strengthened trade relations between British India and China. From 1942 to 1945, Japan invaded during World War II, and Singaporeans who were not pro-Japan were executed. In 1945, Great Britain recaptured Singapore and began post-war reconstruction. In 1958, Great Britain Parliament passed the State of Singapore Act, allowing for more local government. On September 16, 1963, Malaya, Singapore, Sarawak, and North Borneo combined to form the country Malaysia. On August 9, 1965, Singapore was expelled from Malaysia due to racial tension and became a sovereign, democratic, representative, parliamentary nation. With the independence of Singapore, the following changes took place. There was a switch from communism to democracy, disbursement of power, efficient judicial system, individual, citizen, and property rights, strong anti-government corruption laws and enforcement, housing, transportation, and healthcare subsidies, and excellent education from primary school to university or trade school. Singapore is leading in many technology-driven fields like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, fintech, and medtech. International tech conglomerates such as Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Microsoft are influenced to relocate regional headquarters to Singapore due to the thriving tech scene. It's known as a startup hub due to the generous grants provided by the government to encourage entrepreneurship and stimulate innovation. Agencies like the Economic Development Board and the Media Development Authority proactively work with both startups and enterprises to assure success. When looking at these nascently independent nations, their shared contributing factors for success are a shift from communist rule to a democratic state, enforced protection for individual citizen rights, economic stimulus, and a shared goal between the government and its people. Due to these factors, Germany, South Korea, and Singapore quickly recovered from post-war chaos and became the world's most innovative countries in less than 100 years of sovereignty.